the scrap pile, rounded up some pieces of wire. I can create some power cable, ground. A little bit of work in cleaning this up. It'll look good. Old piece of kit. I've got an old 300 amp breaker, which will actually work for a switch. So upon examination, I decided I want to run my positive and ground. I think I can run them this direction so that they'll go underneath the positive and grounds from this amplifier. Alright, so we have our black ground wire. I'm going to probably wind up trimming this off so that I can create a nice new connection, but something to this effect I think will work good. I may end up running a black ground and positive. So there's our ground. Just got it stuck up in there. That's going to work pretty good. Our positive, I've just got it stuck up in there. It's going to run like so, and alongside the ground. Alright, these lugs will fit without any drilling. When it comes to stripping wires inside the house, if you're going to do it inside, do it in the kitchen or on a hard floor, and make sure you do it over the floor, not over the cabinet or the carpet or anything like that, because they can be quite messy. So we're just going to step back here, and I'm going to try not to have any strays, but it's pretty hard to not have a stray or two. And I've got my big old Timco crimper out. Just be advised, if you're stripping long wire or if you're working on wire that's on a roll, you're going to want to put your heat shrink on before you do this, but I already know that I don't have that problem, so I'm going to do it this way. You'll see how much room there is in this. It's pretty big. But the other thing, before you clamp your lug, you're going to want to kind of figure out what position the lug needs to be on the wire based on how that wire wants to lay to look better. Still gives you the same crimp, I just think the look is better. So this is kind of difficult on this counter, and my left arm is jacked up, so I want to get it sort of lean into it and get it started here. Get a little basic crimp going on. I've got it set, just sliding around a little bit. I've got it set just a bit wide, but whenever I redo this here in a second, you'll see how it works. Not pretty yet, but it will be. I want to switch this thing around so that I can use my right arm, because my left arm is got this implant, and that left pec is messed up. So this is a little bit soft on the crimp, so I'm going to crank it down just a little bit, and we're going to go in here and hit it again. I'm going to adjust it a little bit tighter, get it where I want it, and then we're going to put some power on it. You guys probably can't see, but I'm going to put this in. I'm going to make a mess. That's what I'm going to do. I need the dang towel or something up here. All right. Shit. I think that's when I add enough grip to keep things from getting stupid. Just laying a towel up here, I think will be perfect. Yeah, it's not the best, and I am really crimping the crap out of this. There's a lot of pressure on this, but I do like a good tight crimp. So even with these 4 gauges, see, that turns out looking good. The bottom's kind of ganky down here, but it'll be fine whenever it's done. And it's a solid crimp. So even with using these alt gauge, these are actually, I think these are actually 2 alt gauge. Yeah, these are 2 alt gauge lugs on a 4 gauge wire, and that Timco crimper just makes them look so good. This will definitely trigger somebody, probably a bunch of people, but I'm going to be using red on both of these. Now we're going to be using a different positive block. I found one that another one in my stash. It'll be a little cooler, look a little better. We're going to put that one right here instead of the other one. So I'm going to get the positioning figured out first with the cables, and then I'll attach it so that it suits the cable more than the other way around, since it can kind of move around there. And I want everything to lay a certain way. I like the way that looks, not up against that bar, but just like that. That should work pretty good. Now these this terminal block is one of the survivors of the headway fire, and got a couple of them, but this one you can see is really smoky and kind of singed around the edges, is because it was in the fire, like directly in the fire. Surprised how well this whole thing held up, being that it was flames were just pouring over the thing, but it did. These GP car audio distribution blocks are just very well made, excellent materials. I think the question is, should I stay with the black theme, or I've got all these colors. I think maybe I should try to stick with the black theme and do 2 black wires on this one as well. I think it'll look better, and I'll do the all redded heat shrink. Basically it's just sticking with the color scheme of the amplifiers and the whole setup. So I went out there and did some digging around and found a lot of candidates, but this one, so I already got 2 lugs on it. And let's see. So just a reminder, these amplifiers with these angled terminals like this, you have to cut your wire quite a bit deeper to be able to reach up in there. Alright, so after fighting this up and getting this one the length I wanted it, I was able to get some larger heat shrink on here and actually heat shrink the entire terminal, going around about a, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so up on the terminal. So we got a good solid insulated separation between the wires. Alright, now we got our wires secured down with a loop. Everything is hard fastened to the board. Still need to tighten these up, but you know, a little bit at a time. This is how this stuff goes. And by the way, your cats will absolutely love these little chunks of rubber that you strip off of a large gauge wire. All right, so now that I've taken care of all the triggers over here, this is all nice and black and sewed up nicely. I like the way it looks. And we need to work on remote wires, and also we need to work on the power and remote wires for the DSP. And you can see that the B2 DSP has got power, ground, and remote in this little removable green thing, and this can be pulled out, which is pretty handy for wiring things up. So we could run 3 separate wires to this, but I'm thinking what we're going to do, I like to do for those types of connections, is use a piece of 9 wires. We just have one single cable that runs over to it. And I think that's going to look good. I think what I want to do is run it through here, but I'm going to need a little bit more space, and this amp is all the way at the top flush. So I'm going to move this big amp down just a tiny bit. So with that broke loose, I've got the cable just laid in here, and you notice how it blends in with these guys. That's the other beautiful thing about using this 9 wire, is it really does look good. So we got our 9 wire hooked up, and I hooked up purple for power, blue for remote, and green for ground. Now to find out if we can finagle this into its position, as I can't, there's not enough, it's too stiff to leave a bunch of slack, because the slack will be stiff. So you kind of gotta commit, you know. It feels good. And then we will slip that sucker in there. Now, I think I'm going to locate my breaker right here. That way I can access my remote from here to run to everything, and then I can come in here with a nice black power wire from one of these back to the terminal, so I'll get positive here, and then on the other side we'll have our output going to our remotes. So this is not overkill at all. Got this big giant cable over here. This one can be easily replaced when I get something a little more appropriate, but who knows, it'll probably wind up staying there because, you know, life. And I've got my 2 main turn-on wires going here. I decided I'm going to run this under here, over the ground, under the remote in its insulated form, and then over here I'm going to break it down into its multiple wires where I can run a ground, a remote, and a positive, all really close together. Okay, so got this. The 9 wire comes from the DSP, runs down through here, pops out, goes over here, ground's connected here, power's connected under here, and the remote wire's connected under here. Got our 2 remotes running out to the amplifiers. There's no power on the system yet, but All we need is signal cables on the DSP, running in from the computer and out to the two amplifiers, and then we need speaker wires. That's the signal wires is easy. I just got to get some, and the speaker wires is a thing. I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet. I know this is going to the subwoofer, but I've got 3 different subwoofer options, and when it comes to these guys, I've got so many different options, so I'm still trying to figure that out. But right now it's time for a break, because my neck is killing me from leaning over this workbench, kitchen counter, kitchen sink, you know, working on stuff. When you're leaning over, looking down, that works your neck over big time. But I'd say it looks pretty good. I'd say it looks pretty damn good.